Good afternoon and welcome to the Friday, November 4th edition of the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board meeting. I'd like to open the meeting with the roll call. Roll call, please.
Emily Couchrock, PLB Assistant Manager, calling the roll. Reverend Ricky Burgess, Dr. Jamil Bey,
Here.
Councilman Daniel Lavelle, Councilman Bobby Wilson,
Here.
Director Steve Mazza,
Here.
Director Wanda Wilson,
Present.
Director Karen Breen.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. We'll open the meeting with opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone either online or in the room present that would like to make a comment, please come to the podium. If you are online and would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand feature so that you can be unmuted. We are muted?
No problem.
So do we start from the beginning? Do we do the roll call again? We'll take it from the top. Good afternoon and welcome to the November 4th Pittsburgh Land Bank meeting. I'd like to start by taking the roll.
Emily Couchrock, Land Bank Assistant Manager, calling the roll. Reverend Ricky Burgess, Dr. Jamil Bey,
Here.
Councilman Daniel Lavelle, Councilman Bobby Wilson,
Here.
Director Steve Mazza,
Here.
Director Wanda Wilson,
Here.
Director Karen Breen.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is we take public comment. If there's anyone in the audience, virtually or in the room here with us, if you'd like to do public comment, please come to the podium. If you are participating virtually, please use the raise hand feature so that we can recognize and unmute you when it is your turn. For the public comment, you have 3 minutes. State your name, the neighborhood that you're from, and then your timer will start.
All right, start now. All right, hello, my name is Billy Vaughn. I'm from like the East Liberty area, but I live on the north side now. So I'm really just here to advocate for community residents as far as the process for the land bank. I'm very self-taught, so I want to learn what the land bank has for the community and how community ownership could benefit from the land bank, because I see a lot of conversation around how community groups will benefit or, development projects for CDCs, but how will individuals be able to utilize the land bank through the treasure sale or through city-owned properties. So just wanted to introduce myself. I'll be coming to the meetings to learn, to listen, and to see what is available from the land bank for individual community ownership. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other commenters? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the next agenda item, which is the chairman's report. Emily?
The first item we have for us today is approval of the October 2022 minutes. Dr. Bey, if you would.
Make a motion to approve the 22 October minutes. Second. Is there any discussion around the minutes? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstention? Any objections? Okay, minutes are approved. The next item is the financial report.
On the screen, we will see the financial report as of October 31st, 2022. On the screen is the balance sheet. On the screen is the income statement. On the screen is the expenditures. On the screen is the fund balance report. I will pause there for any questions about the financial report. Board members may find these in their board packets. Moving on to the administrative invoice from the Urban Redevelopment Authority. The Pittsburgh Land Bank, as an affiliate entity of the URA, has a staffing cooperation agreement that allows for us to share many of the resources that the URA has to advance the land bank's mission. As a reminder, the Board of Directors saw this invoice at the October 2022 meeting. This is a prorated invoice with a reduced charge for the land bank manager in Q1 due to staff transition. I will pause for any questions from the board.
Property plus once a year, or it's charged for Q2, but no other quarters?
That's one charge annually, and they break it into 2 payments. Do you want to repeat your?
Well, I appreciate that it's broken out. I mean, that's helpful from what we received before.
So we'll have one that will also show up in the invoice that we pay this December for the final quarter.
And yeah, I think this invoice overall is better, that they prorated for when we weren't paying a manager. So that's helpful.
So seeing that all questions from the previous time that we had a chance to look at this have been answered, this needs a motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that has been approved. The next item.
The next item for board approval is an updated cost estimate of the Homes Within Reach conference. At the October board meeting, the board approved expenses for one staff member to attend the Homes Within Reach conference in Hershey, Pennsylvania, December 7th through 9th. We are now coming back to the board seeking approval for 2 staff members to attend this conference. You'll see on the screen the charges estimated for 2 people. I'll pause for any questions from the board.
This was a request that specifically came from Councilmember Burgess, that we make sure we bring Emily along to the conference. So we've just doubled the cost of registration and the per diem.
Okay, so is there any discussion about this? Because this also requires a motion to approve.
Second.
Seeing no discussion, we're ready for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that has been approved, which takes us to the next item on our agenda, legislative updates.
So we have 4 quick updates for board members today. First, we have the amendment to the municipal tax claims and liens law, known as MICDL. We introduced this amendment early this year. This would give the land bank the ability to purchase property through sheriff's sale. This amendment did not pass this year, but I think it's important to note that every time this amendment came up for vote, it was passed unanimously. We saw support for it, and we think by introducing it at the beginning of next year with a little more runway, we'll have time to get the political buy-in that we need to see this amendment passed in 2023. Next, I have 2 other state House bills related to our land bank. The first one, 2209, refers to establishing a virtual quorum for land banks. And it also refers to our the waiving of the realty transfer tax for land banks. So this amendment was passed, which means that so as of yesterday, the governor signed this bill, and it goes into effect in 60 days, which means that we will be able to establish virtual quorum. And we look forward to talking to the board and utilizing that tool to our benefit. And then our next bill was was an amendment allowing land banks to participate in conservatorship law as a party of interest. That bill was also passed. Finally, we have a city council bill. Oh, I'm sorry, Director, did you have a question? We can take them now, or
Yeah, what does that mean? So is it similar to how the city can have standing?
yes, the same.
So it's not giving us, it's not changing the rules on, what is it, 2,000 feet from the property?
Yeah.
An owner, it's not giving us standing and like to proactively, file for conservatorship. It's the opposite. It's the get standing whenever is another party would do
And we
that.
can file against. My understanding is that it gives us the ability to file conservatorship.
Oh, okay, on
So,
both ends.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Rather than intervening to oppose. I'll double check that for you, but that was my understanding of the law. Just as a point of interest. And then finally, we have a local bill, the tri-party agreement. This is an existing agreement between the city, the URA, and the land bank. It previously only allowed for the land bank to transfer property to the city and the URA. And of course, we need the ability to receive property from the city and the URA. And so we have an amendment on the table at City Council to be able to receive property. We have been working with the mayor's office, city finance and law. And so we're simply waiting on the go-ahead to move forward once we get approval of the flow chart that you'll see in your packet today. So those are our legislative updates. Does anyone have questions?
Quick question, can you, for the Senate Bill 811, the one sponsored by Wayne Fontana, can you explain again why that's crucial to what we're trying to do? I think that would be key to in response to the comment that our community member made.
Sure. So without this amendment passing this year, what that means is the land bank will only be able to focus on transfer property from the city's existing inventory. If we were to go to the sheriff's sale, we would have to compete against other interested buyers, and we need the ability to be a party to have a. We need the ability to bid on a property and not compete against other buyers. So this is just one piece. The other piece will be renegotiating the 3 taxing bodies agreement, and that will establish criteria for when taxes are waived. But this is one piece of that puzzle.
But it's the, of the city's inventory, it's what they currently have, but then also what they could acquire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
bidding
the
on.
obvious. That one just.
Yeah, currently,
Yeah.
so right, MICTL allows us to purchase privately owned tax delinquent property. And it's the best and most efficient way to do that. Otherwise we have to use the treasurer's sale and focus on the city's existing inventory.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments about the legislative update?
Question on the MICTL. So the ability to acquire tax delinquent properties with the city. So how does that work? So somebody goes in, getting close to sheriff's sale, and then we see something that we'd like would help, or a community group likes would help their area. They come to us and we have the ability to purchase that property and put it on is that how that works?
That could be one of many paths.
Okay,
We'll have something more
Okay.
comprehensive to review with the board with our work plan in the coming month. But exactly, we'll have several different ways that the land bank will come to request property to go through a sheriff's sale.
But the city can't just seize the property because it's delinquent in taxes, like an eminent domain type thing. They can?
So the city.
I'm just throwing that out there. I know it's a lot of.
The city uses the treasurer's sale to foreclose on tax delinquent property, and it's, they're comparing the two systems. The sheriff's sale moves more quickly, happens more often, and also we receive a clear title at the end of that process. We'll be receiving property with unclear title from the city at this point. Thank you. Priority bid, that was the word that I was looking for.
Well, the key,
Yeah,
the key,
yeah,
and
thank
also the sheriff's cell gets us, clear title at the day instead of this, 2,400 kind of average amount of money for each property.
About,
Clear title?
1250
Yeah.
is what we've got as our average right now for title clearance, yeah.
But the real potential to help communities is what we ultimately decide on for the budget, really. What we fit in there. Yeah, because, how we organize sorry, I don't want to take over. But I guess I've been thinking about, this more clearly, and really it's just, at this point, there's some advantages of the land bank, but, basically we're creating, or potentially we can create a system here where we could support, CDCs, communities, individuals with, capacity to do projects that we would all agree on, and lump that into, somehow we fit that into the budget, whether we're stabilizing the property, with the funds, clearing title, doing all that stuff. So I don't know, there's real potential in the budget.
Is there any additional discussion? Okay, seeing none, that moves us to the announcements. A reminder for the board members to please stay for an executive conference at the conclusion of the regular board meeting. Are there any other announcements? Okay, then that takes us to the last round, the closing round of public comment. After witnessing our session, is there any additional comment from the public, either in the room or virtually? And state your name, your neighborhood, or your affiliation, and you have 3 minutes.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Chris Rosslow. I'm the Director of Policy at Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group and also a resident of the North Side. It was mentioned earlier about the taxing body agreement, and I wanted to see if there was a more comprehensive update on that. Talked about Mechtel and the importance of Mechtel, which is absolutely true, and Harrisburg and the importance of getting that passed. But it seems like we could have more control here locally if we can get the taxing body agreements passed, or negotiated. So if I could, and the public, get an update on that.
We don't typically respond to the public comments in this session. Is it appropriate? Do we have an update on that?
Chris, the update is that we need Mechtel to pass to begin those negotiations. And we'd be happy to talk more about that with you.
Sounds good. I look forward to your response. Thank you.
My last comment. So,
Please state your name and your community.
again, all right, Billy Vaughn, East Liberty. So I would just say, to keep in mind, because I'm going to try not to ask a question since you guys don't really respond to questions, but keep in mind whatever the requirements will be for individuals purchasing property through the land bank, I'm just hoping it does not disqualify them at the land bank, because at the treasure sale, it's just cash, right? So that gives the public the option to participate in a public sector where a lot of us do not qualify for the private market, whether it's a job, whether it's a credit score. So the public auction gives those who may have saved money over time to participate in real estate without the requirements that they may not have. So I'm hoping if you're getting these properties from a public auction and you're moving them to the land bank, whatever the qualifications are to purchase from you guys, it does not disqualify them when they were qualified at the public sector. You know what I mean? So if it's what's your capacity as your financials, what is your credit score, do you have an architect, do you have drawings? No, that's why I was at the auction, because if I had all that, I would have a realtor and be in the private market. So hopefully that's a conversation to just some reality of why people participate in the public auctions. So, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? With that, look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Bye.